talked to Mac and Phil yesterday, and they talked about how you're uber focused on a couple of things that didn't go right, some of the misses, and I think Phil said that it's a bad omen to focus on the positive things. You just want to go on the negatives. How much did you fixate on the negatives? What were some of the things you pulled out that are a point of emphasis to you?
Yeah, no doubt. You obviously, back when you watch the film, the things that point out to you are usually the negatives. I think some of my footwork's just kind of easy stuff, run footwork. Sometimes in the pocket I feel like a little jittery, maybe slid up, maybe sometimes some pressure that was kind of not there, and I caused it maybe a little bit. But other than that, maybe could have thrown some. Maybe could have wished I had a few throws back. But other than that, yeah, that's mainly what I got from watching it back.
Do you allow yourself to be satisfied with some elements of what you do, or is it just strictly, I got to find these 4 or 5 things that didn't go right, and that's all I'm going to worry about?
Yeah, I think that's a tough question. I think it's kind of a balance of both. Just trying to, not to get too high on the good plays, and just try to kind of ground out the negative plays and see what I could fix and just help the team, execute the play next time.
Going into the App State game, you're going against kind of an older quarterback. Like, what's your thought process going against that? Anything nerves shaking up, or are you feeling pretty confident about that?
Yeah. Chase Price has been a lot of places, and he's he spent his time, and he's a good player. So I wouldn't say there's much kind of nerves going into it. I think last week helped with that, but just trying to it's a big game, and it's getting hyped up, and we're in here talking about in our meeting talking about some of the crowd noise that's going to happen. It's going to be a hostile game, but I think that makes hopefully getting out of there with a win just that much sweeter.
Do y'all do anything to prepare for the crowd noise, the hostile environment in terms of sound counts, claps? Is there anything prep wise for that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the good things about the clap. I think that's you can kind of hear it, really no matter what. I think at Virginia Tech last year, I didn't think we had any problems. But we'll play some crowd noise and make some loud music during team periods to try to simulate that. But really, at the end of the day, it's nothing kind of can simulate the hostile fans, whether it's at Virginia Tech or App State. So.
Greg, you mentioned after last game you heard from Sam and also your brother, sort of congratulating on your first start. Have you heard anything from them to sort of prepare you for this environment that you're going to step into?
Yeah, I was talking to Luke yesterday. He just kind of said keep the main thing. That's just going out there 1-0 each week, and for him, he played a lot more games than football used to play. They play like 30, 35 seasons. So these 12, that's all you got. You're looking forward to it every Saturday. So just going in 1-0 and take each play once at a time.
You guys didn't win a lot. You guys didn't win too many games on the road last year. So what are you all talking about? About trying to get that taste out of your mouth going on the road this week, especially in a place like Boone, that's going to be like sold out and their biggest game of the year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think the big thing about playing on the road is just being confident and not letting the environment get too big. So I think starting out this game at App, getting a road win would be, especially the first of the season, would be huge for us for the rest of the season. And at the end of the day, we're just going to treat it just like another game, and just know that I think it set us up for kind of along the way through the season with the win from coming out of Boone.
Last week,
growing up in Charlotte, did you ever go up to games up in Boone or anything like that, or know anybody on the team or anything like that?
I know a few players from Charlotte that went up there, but I didn't go to much App State football games growing up. I just came here. But other than that, obviously, you got a great program, and they've proven they can win some games, and they can keep it close no matter who the opponent is. So we got to come ready.
last week you told us it was a little different in a couple of your classes and on campus after being named the starter. How different have the last few days been, given what you did the other night?
It's been fun walking around campus. Just going to class. Just a lot of, are you Drake Maye type of questions. But other than that, nothing much different. Just trying to get the schoolwork done and win football games on Saturdays.
So a little more selfies than usual?
No, not many pictures. No, I don't think I'm at that level. Like Sam and those guys are, and Josh. So I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, on that note, like your brother kind of dealt with it, I'm sure. The basketball players do it all the time, but that kind of celebrity that comes with being a star athlete at a school like UNC. Mm-hmm. You said you haven't experienced that yet because it's been one game, but is that kind of, what does that feel like at all? Now that people recognize you and you're kind of the guy on the team now, the quarterback of UNC.
Yeah, I think that just comes with position. Quarterback. I mean, I feel like at most schools, no matter high school, college, NFL, they usually know the quarterback. So I think that comes with position and just putting a good show on for the university and the team, and just I mean, it's not really surreal, but it's just something I always dreamed of as a kid coming here, and just trying to not take it for granted, enjoy it.
What is Mac and Coach Brown and staff been stressing in terms of like how big this game is, how tough it's going to be up there to be ready? Has there been kind of a theme that they've stressed in terms of like speeches or Mac getting in front of y'all and telling y'all how big this game is or anything like that?
This game, obviously we got that week 0 game in to help prepare for this week. I think going in week 1 and without a game under our belt would have been a little more difficult, obviously. And this is it's a big game for the program. I think we owe them one from a couple years back with Sam, and I think their first year here. So Coach Brown's a big game for him. I know he goes up there a lot, and Coach Woods, obviously Coach Terry, and Coach Brown. So defending the home state, I mean, it's always a big deal. So going in there with App State, we gotta come ready, or they're gonna make some noise.
Trey, Phil was saying yesterday, and you mentioned it today, maybe some of your footwork and stuff like that coming out of the opener. When Phil was going over stuff like that with you, was that something you already knew before he got into it? Like, my feet might have been a little too happy, or like, were there coaching points he was making that you were like, yeah, I already know before you even say it? Was it that type of deal, or?
I think so, a little bit. The big emphasis this offseason was just kind of eliminate sacks, and I think sometimes I get a little antsy trying to eliminate sacks. That may cause me to move kind of excessively where I don't need to. But Coach Long was on us, every day in practice. Every day we watch it, and he points out those same things like it was a game. So we kind of treat practice, and similar to how we would point out the negatives of the game. So it's really just kind of the same there. Coach Long keeps it consistent.
What would you say, just in terms of the reaction, like AJ and Ross asked you about, like, what would you say the weirdest thing you've heard since Saturday night? Since you threw the 5 touchdown passes and everybody was going crazy for it, the weirdest or strangest or most interesting thing where you're like, good Lord, this is kind of strange?
I'm not even sure, really. I have to think on that. Weirdest or strangest thing, like just around campus?
Yeah, I mean, just from someone. Yeah, someone said to you, or a message they sent you, or someone noticed how you played, and you were like, I can't believe that person was watching. I don't know. Just the most surprising thing.
I'd probably say kind of the most surprising. I just hear a lot of air drakes as I'm walking through campus from the play where I dove for the guy for the goal line. That's about it. It's a lot of air drakes. So that's probably the most surprising thing I think is funny.
Are you aware of how much attention your dad's gotten lately from his days here, because the comparisons that you're following in his footsteps and people kind of combing back over his career?
I think my dad, I wasn't really sure how much attention, is he getting a lot of attention?
People are talking about it. Well, they didn't talk about it 5 years ago, but they're talking about it now, so it's a decent amount.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
There's some clips out there too.
Yeah, I know some clips. I think that state game where they referenced the touchdown pass, I think they ended up losing. I remember that play. I've seen that play a couple times where the swing pass or the pass to the running back and then being complete that cost him the game. But no, my dad, I think he does great with it. Some people still ask him for autographs, which he doesn't really understand why, because he doesn't think he was that good a player, but I've heard otherwise. But that's about it.
Drake, what advantages do you see when Bryson is lining up, like standing in the slot as opposed to when he's on the line at the tight end?
I think Bryson can do a lot of good stuff for us. We were just watching film earlier, and I think he provides that kind of hybrid where he can play tight end and also line up in the slot, like you said, kind of like Kyle Pitts. He reminds me of Kyle Pitts a little bit. Obviously, Kyle Pitts is he's a phenomenal player, but I think Bryson, he's on the verge of kind of breaking out. And I think y'all saw a little bit of that last Saturday. So just trying to use him and use all his abilities, because you know, he can also get in there in the box and he'll be physical with you. I played basketball against him growing up, so I had to guard him a few times, and we still play sometimes in the offseason. He's tough to handle. So he's a big body and he's lengthy, and he goes up and gets it. That's all he tells me. He said, Drake, you can put it pretty much anywhere. So I think that's quarterback's best friend.
Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. What Phil was telling us yesterday about like the perfectionist aspect of your personality and honing in on the stuff that didn't go right. Like when he's reminding you, like, look, there are a lot of things to like about this. Do you have to physically remind yourself of that? Like, okay, there were a lot of good things that I can bank up from this. Like, you know, is that a struggle at all for you, just to take the good?
I think it is a little bit. You know, I'm kind of like you said, like one of those guys who just worries about what I've done bad or the negative plays. So I think, you know, even sometimes during a game, you know, I hold myself hard on, you know, missed throws or missed assignments, and I think it's a good habit that I need to start practicing. Kind of, you know, focus on some more stuff or just the next play, and just also at the end of the day, the main goal is winning. So if we're running up there, just kind of take it a little easier on myself. But I think also at the same time, I think being hard on yourself is good, and I think, you know, kind of get too high, too glory, can have impact.
Drake, just kind of talk about the running backs for a little bit. So obviously coming into the year, it's sort of a state of flux with a whole bunch of people taking the number of reps. Not to get an X's and O's or anything, but is there a certain person who's, I guess, stood out over the past, like, since Florida A&M, who's really been ready to take that next step to be the leader of the group?
I think, you know, DJ Jones, he's been here, this is his third year, so he does a great job leading, and obviously not in the stats, you may not see it, but he did a great job, you know, pass protection, he saved a lot of plays. In that first touchdown on Kamar, we had a little protection. He ended up cleaning up. He cleaned up a lot of stuff for us. You know, he's the leader in that room since British went down. So he does a lot for those young boys. But at the same time, those young boys are making plays, and I think DJ knows that he's going to have to keep running the ball well, and doing his job. Because you know, obviously those three, we got the three good backs right now that can go in the field and make plays. So we're excited for that run.
Drake, was there anything you observed last year in the road games you went to that you feel like you can apply, you know, that will help you on Saturday?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think the main thing on the road is getting off to a good start. I think once you get off to a slow start, you can kind of, the crowd gets into it and they can kind of get all the momentum. I think Virginia Tech was a good example. I think we didn't score our first touchdown until maybe the second half, maybe, or something like that. So I think getting off to a good start and kind of let everybody know kind of we're settled in and we're here. I think is a big emphasis. And obviously just providing energy on the sideline, creating your own energy. It can be tough sometimes on the road. But also I think I enjoy playing on the road, going to somebody's house and coming home with the win. So that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Does it have to be country music if it's App State that you pipe in during practice?
It is usually a lot of country. Sometimes there'll be some loud rap music before fourth quarter that a lot of the guys get rowdy to. But obviously, App State, Luke Combs. Went to St. Elementary School in Huntersville, so a lot of people are big Luke Combs fans. But
You went to the same elementary school as Luke Combs?
yeah, Luke Combs from Huntersville. We're
Originally?
Yeah, where we're all from. So me and my brothers, we all went to the same school. So small world.
What's the name of the school?
Huntersville Elementary.
Okay.
Yeah, Huntersville Elementary. Yep. You got it good?
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, no problem.
Good stuff. Thank you.